In these problems, we're working with mean, median, range, and mode in a set of data. So these are the basic statistics functions. These are words that describe things about a set of numbers. So for example, in this first one, it says Bob's last 8 golf scores on a par 72 course were 82, 89, 77, 90, 87, 77, 77, and 77. You can ignore the 72. That's just describing the type of golf course it is, so we won't even think about that. These are the scores he got. And we want to find the range, mean, median, and mode of that set of data. When you go about finding all these different things, I think it's most useful to rewrite your set of data from smallest to largest. So that's what I usually do first. So I've got a 77, a 77, a 77, and let's see, the next would be an 82, and then an 80, oh, there's 4 77s there. Let's stick another one out here. And then I've got my 82. Actually, it helps if you cross these off as you go. And then next would be an 87, and an 89, and a 90. I think I got them all. Okay, so there's our set of data written out from lowest to highest. And now we need to find these 4 things. The only one that's actually a little bit hard is the mean. You actually have to do some work for that. The rest of them are pretty simple. Let's start with the range. The range is just the difference between the highest value and the lowest value. So to get the range, I would take the highest value, 90, minus the lowest value, 77, and I would get 13. So that's our range. I'm going to come back to the mean because that takes the most work. Let's work on the median next. So the median is the middle number in a set of numbers when they're all written out like this. So let's count how many we have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, this is an even number of numbers, which means the middle would fall between 2 numbers, right in the middle there. If you have an odd number of numbers, like if this 90 wasn't here, the middle would be this number, and that would be the median. You'd just grab that 77 and stick it there for the median. But when you have basically 2 numbers in the middle, you take the average of those 2 numbers for your median. And to take an average, you add the numbers together and then you divide by the number of numbers that there are. In this case, there's only 2 that I'm looking at. So I would say 77 plus 82 divided by 2. So let's write that out. 77 plus 82 divided by 2. And what I get is 79.5. So that is our median. Now let's go on to the mode. This is a pretty easy one. There really isn't any calculation at all. The mode just refers to the number that shows up the most often. So in this case, we have 182, 187, 189, 190, but we have 4 77s, so it's pretty easy to see that 77 is the mode, the number that occurs the most often. Finally, we have the mean, which is the same thing as average, just another word for that. And to find the mean, you add up all your numbers and then you divide by the number of numbers. We counted this a minute ago and there are 8 different numbers in here. So I'm just going to add all these up. So 77 plus 77 plus 77 plus 77 plus 82 plus 87 plus 89 plus 90. So that equals 656. I'm doing this on a calculator here. And now I'm going to divide this by 8, because that's the number of numbers that there are. And I get 82. At this point, because it's easy to make a mistake when you're calculating so many numbers, adding so many numbers together, it's probably good to just do some thinking about it. This number should be, representative of the middle of the group. And you can see 82's right in here, and there are numbers that are higher, numbers that are lower. So this seems like it's probably on track. I could add all that up again and double check my work, but I think I got that one right. So remember, range, just subtract the lowest from the highest number. Median, you want to find the middle number, or if there are 2 in the middle, you take the average of those 2. The mode is just the number that occurs the most often, and the mean is the average of all those numbers. All right, let's take a look at one more. So this one says, the sum of 4 numbers is 632.4. 2 of the numbers are 184.1 and 201.1. Find the average of the 4 numbers. To find an average, of 4 numbers, you take the sum of those numbers and you divide by 4. It doesn't matter what the numbers are, as long as you got them all added together and divide by 4 in this case, because that's the number of numbers, you're going to get the average or the mean. So when they tell us that 2 of the numbers are this and this, it doesn't even matter. They're giving us the sum, so we'll put that up here, 632.4, and then they're telling us that there are 4 numbers, that's what goes down there, and that's all we have to do. So we can punch that into our calculator, and we get 158.1. And that's all there is to it. So that's a little bit of work with the basic statistics functions.